With Mizuki having left the corporeal world for the foreseeable future, we enter the second event of October, being Rekindle the Flame, that will run from October 21st to October 29th. This is a VV Bad Squad unit focused event in the cool attribute, with Akito as the focus character and the rest of VV Bad Squad, as well as the VV Bad Squad virtual singers acting like supporting cast. And due to this being a standard marathon event, we have 2 exchange shop cards. Taking the 2-star slot is Toya with this card, What is Near Yet Unseen. Toya is a cute attribute healer skill card, and due to his cute attribute, he will see use in 2 future events. The first event Toya will see use in is Unfading Wishing, that will run from December 31st to January 9th. In the gacha for this event is Akito, Airi, and VV Bad Squad KAITO, as well as 2 Bloom Festival exclusive cards in the form of Anne and Haruka. This of course means that Toya is higher gameplay value, as Toya himself is only ever available with a 50% bonus. However, there are 5 available cards that are considered focus cards for this event, granting a 70% bonus, making the Rekindle the Flame exchange of Toya slightly lower gameplay value due to that reason. Since if you're planning to pull from Unfading Wishing, you can have a full 5-man team of 70% event bonus. The second event Toya will see use in is Aim Higher and Higher, that will run from the 31st of May to the 7th of June. With KOHANE, Toya, and VV Bad Squad Miku in the gacha, Toya is of course lower gameplay value for this event, as he is available with a 70% event bonus from the gacha. With the character taking the 3-star slot being VV Bad Squad KAITO and his card, If You Want Heat. KAITO is a pure attribute perfect locker skill card with the skill name The Path Beyond the Wall. And due to his pure attribute, KAITO has no future usability. But obviously, KAITO and Toya are not the only cards being added, as we also have the event gacha Fuel My Passion, that will run from October 21st to October 31st. This is a standard permanent gacha, meaning it abides by standard permanent gacha rules. This means a 3% chance for a 4-star, there is a pity bar available, and using the green stickers and vouchers. There are 3 new cards being added with this gacha, all 3 considered the focus cards of the event, meaning they grant a 70% event bonus. And since they are permanent cards, they only come with an exclusive new costume. Finally, all 3 of the cards will be matching the event's attribute, being cool. Due to this being a unit gacha with only unit members available in it, we can cover the World Link situation now, meaning I don't have to repeat myself for every single card. VV Bad Squad's second World Link event is called Turning Pain into Drive and will run from April 8th to April 20th. And added with this gacha is of course 1 new semi-limited card for each one of the members of VV Bad Squad. Starting alongside the second World Link event is also the second World Link support gacha for VV Bad Squad. This gacha will start in early April, and available in it is all of the first set of World Link cards for VV Bad Squad available as rate up options. This makes the second World Link support gacha a form of rerun for the first set of World Link cards. Then right before the final chapter World Link event, we will see a rerun of all the unit's second World Link gachas. These gachas were only available for a day, and VV Bad Squad's gacha Glance at the Same World will be available between September 19th and September 20th. And this gacha functions exactly like it did the first time around, only that it's only available for a single day. And then during the final chapter World Link event, there is no standard event gacha. Instead, the only gacha that will be available will be the final chapter World Link support gacha. And in this gacha, all 26 of the first set of World Link cards will be available as rate up and can also be sparked from the exchange shop. Meaning of course that the first set of VV Bad Squad World Link cards are available in this gacha as well. However, I consider the second VV Bad Squad World Link support gacha as well as the final chapter World Link support gacha to be special rerun cases, as we have no idea or announcement how they will be handling the first set of World Link cards once this gacha concluded. So until we have further information, I would consider the final chapter World Link support support gacha to be your final opportunity to pull from the first set of World Link card for any given unit as a standalone gacha. So just keep that in mind when you plan your pulls. But these are all the available dates for the semi-limited Vivi Bad Squad cards tied to the different World Link events. So with that out of the way, let's return to the gacha showcase. With our first character in the gacha, of course, being the focus character of the event, Akito and his card, Burnout.
燃え尽きちまったのか。
Akito is a scorer skill card with the skill name We'll See the World Together, and scorer skill cards will grant 100% score bonus for 5 seconds at talent level 1, with Akito's new costume being called Craving Flame. And Akito has no future usability as it currently stands on the Japanese server. And Akito has 2 new upcoming limited cards. The first one coming from the event we just mentioned for Toya, being Unfading Wishing, once again running from December 31st to January 9th. The second one is his Bloom Festival exclusive card tied to the 5th anniversary event Our Golden Days, available between September 30th and October 4th. And as for rerunning gachas, Akito has 3 upcoming ones. As always, remember that the second rerun is the final, before the cards join the Recollection Festival gacha pool and the gacha itself is discontinued. For more information, check out my Recollection Festival guide linked down in the description. The first event we will encounter with Akito in it is the first rerun of Your Ticket to the City of Splendors, happening in December, with the second rerun already confirmed for August. This is followed by the first rerun of the Play with Dogs gacha, also known as the 3.5 anniversary, happening in April, with no final rerun yet confirmed. With the final gacha we will encounter Akito in being the first rerun of the Party of Blast gacha, happening in July, with no second rerun yet confirmed. So Akito has some decent limited choices, leading us into the second character in the gacha, KOHANE and her card, To Be Worthy.
そう言ってもらえてすごく嬉しいです。
KOHANE is a Perfect Locker skill card with the skill name Matching Pouches, and Perfect Locker skill cards will change all bad and higher taps into perfects for 5.5 seconds and grant an 80% score bonus for 5 seconds at talent level 1, with KOHANE's new costume being called Bright Flame. And KOHANE is the only one out of the 3 new cards added with the gacha that has any future usability, showing up in the event Show Your Shine that will run from January 21st to January 29th. In the gacha for this event is Kanade, Saki, and Nycord at 25 Rin, meaning of course that KOHANE is higher gameplay value, as KOHANE is only ever available with a 50% bonus. As for new limited cards for KOHANE, she has 2 upcoming ones, one of which is a very special case. The first event she will show up in is an event we've already mentioned, Aim Higher and Higher, once again running from May 31st to June 7th. Finally, her special limited costume comes from the Tomogachi collaboration event. This collaboration event was available between September 19th and October 5th on the Japanese server. However, as is always the case with collaboration events, we have currently no idea if this collaboration will be available on EN, Taiwan, or Korea at any point in the future. So we still have to wait and see if this collaboration event makes it over to our servers. However, even if the collaboration event is confirmed, it is still a big asterisk with the dates I actually listed from the Japanese server, as all instances of collaboration events on EN, Korea, and Taiwan has been happening at different dates than their Japanese counterpart. So you will have to keep your eyes peeled for more information and confirmation if the Tamagotchi collaboration is coming to EN, Korea, and Taiwan. As well as be ready for the potential possibility that this collaboration event might happen way earlier or way later on our servers than it did on the Japanese counterpart. So just keep that in mind. However, as for rerunning gachas, KOHANE has 3 upcoming ones. The first gacha KOHANE will show up in is the first rerun of the Photogenic Valentine's gacha happening in February, with the second rerun already confirmed for September 2026. The second gacha KOHANE shows up in is the first rerun of the Eternal Bouts gacha happening in May, with no second rerun yet confirmed on the Japanese server. And she of course also joins Akito in the Party of Blast gacha, once again having its first rerun in July with no second rerun yet confirmed. Which only leaves us with the final character in the gacha being Anne, and her card gotta be an English master.
なんて
Anne is a perfect scorer skill card with the skill name Come Rain or Come Nightmare, and perfect scorer skill cards will grant 110% score bonus for perfect taps only for 5 seconds at talent level 1, with Anne's new costume being called Yearning Flame. And Anne, just like Akito, has no future usability as it currently stands. However, she does have 3 new upcoming limited cards. She will first join Akito in the event Unfading Wishing as a Bloom Festival exclusive card, meaning she will only be available between December 31st and January 4th. She then shows up alone in the event Competitive Fire that will run from July 31st to August 6th. She then once again joins Akito during the 5th anniversary event, Our Golden Days, as an event card, meaning she will be available between September 30th and October 9th. And as for rerunning gachas, Anne has 2 upcoming ones. She will first show up in the final rerun of the Fluttering Maidens gacha happening in November. This is then followed by joining KOHANE in the first rerun of the Eternal Bouts gacha, with no second rerun still confirmed. And that covers all of the information about the new cards being added with the Fuel My Passion gacha, so instead we can look towards the event team building. And since this is a unit-focused event, all virtual singers can grant the 50% bonus, granted that they are the correct attribute and unit. And because of the changes to blank/unitless virtual singers happening with the Bloom Festival update in June of this year, all virtual singers, as long as they are either the Vivid Bad Squad unit or blank/unitless, are able to grant the 50% bonus. Granted, of course, that they are the correct attribute, being cool for this event. However, with that short notice out of the way, let's look at the asterisks for the 2-star and 3-star cards. And this time around, all of the asterisks we do have comes from collaboration events. The 2-star Anne featuring Loromanic and the 2-star Len featuring Twin Little Stars are of course from the Sanrio collaboration event. The Let's Enjoy the Movies 2-star KOHANE and 2-star Meiko is of course from the Project Sekai movie code campaign tied to the cinematic release of the Project Sekai movie. And the 2-star KAITO Smart Idol Style is from the Ensemble Stars collaboration logging campaign. If you missed the Sanrio collaboration or the Ensemble Stars collaboration campaign, you will have no way of having the Anne, the Len, and the KAITO. And if you live in a country where the movie wasn't released, or you just didn't go watch the movie in the cinema and therefore had no codes, of course you cannot have the KOHANE or the Meiko either. But those are our only asterisks for this event, so let's get straight into the 4-star cards. And this time around we have 23 available 4-star cards. This time around there are 5 available events that brought more than 1 card. One of which is limited and 4 of them being permanent. The limited event in question is Whip Yourself into Shape, previously known as Whip the Wimp Girl, that brought an Anne, a KOHANE, and a Toya. With the permanent events in order of release being Singing in Sync, bringing an Anne, a KOHANE, and an Akito. This was followed by the mixed event, The Sounds of the Summer Festival, that brought an Akito and a Vivid Bad Squad Len. After this we saw the event Bout Beside You, bringing an Anne, a Toya, and a Vivid Bad Squad Miku. With the final permanent event being the event just before 2nd anniversary, Walk On and On, bringing in a Toya, a KOHANE, and a Vivid Bad Squad KAITO. And this leaves us with 9 remaining cards. And out of these 9 remaining cards, 6 are limited, 2 are semi-limited, and 1 is permanent. The limited cards in order of appearance are as follows. The Greedy Judge KAITO, obviously tied to the 7 Deadly Sins collaboration event. We then saw the colorful festival Rin tied to the 2.5 anniversary event in this singing city, which was then followed by the colorful festival exclusive KOHANE tied to the event Unmissable Spirited Affair. Akito then showed up with a standard limited card from the 3.5 anniversary event Rise as One, which was then followed by the Bloom festival exclusive card for Meiko tied to the event Over Rad Squad, with the final limited card being the movie exclusive Miku from the windowed Sekai. As for the 2 unit limited cards, we have the Toya from the Vivi Bad Squad World Link event Break Down the Wall, and the Miku from the Virtual Singer World Link event With You at Sekai's beginning, with our only mixed permanent card coming from the event Let's Study Hard in the form of the Anne. And as a final addition, we have 6 available birthday cards. This in the form of the first year Rin and Toya, the second year KAITO and Anne, and the third year Meiko and Miku. And that covers the entire event team building roster for the event Rekindle the Flame. And while this selection of cards definitely looks fine at the first glance, I do think that this is a pretty bad event team building roster, with 11 out of the 23 available 4-star cards being some form of limited, and 9 out of the 12 remaining cards coming from Vivi Bad Squad unit focused events, making the roster extremely slim if you're not a massive fan of Vivi Bad Squad, especially seeing as the Galarian from 7 Deadly Sins is not available if you did not specifically pull from the 7 Deadly Sins gachas available 2 years ago at this point. In addition, the World Link cards are quite hard to come by, and most of the limited cards are in the form of Colorful Festival or Bloom Festival exclusives. On top of all of this, 2 out of the 3 Vivi Bad Squad unit focused permanent events are very old at this point, and even the third option, Walk On and On, are showing its age by this point being just before the 2nd anniversary, meaning you either have to be a long time player who has been a fan of Vivi Bad Squad for a very long time, or gotten these cards from off-banner pulls randomly. And while that is definitely not impossible seeing how old Singing in Sync and Bout Beside You are, it definitely isn't a guarantee with how many cards we have in the game. So either you have to be a massive Vivi Bad Squad fan to have a very good event, or have been lucky with off-banner pull, which makes this a very difficult event to build around, especially with how scattered all of the limited cards are, who takes up half of the card pool. There is at least a small positive about this event, as there is a 3-star card for each and every character, meaning that you have a 3-star card to fall back upon if you have all of them available to you. So I just hope that every new player can make a 250% event bonus team, and all of the late game players can at least reach 270 and 280% event bonus if you aren't a massive Vivi Bad Squad fan. But with that, once the event ends, we will move into an afterlive. The afterlive will be available between October 29th and October 30th, and participating during the allotted time period will grant you 300 crystals and a stamp. The stamp this time around of Akito called I Wanna See the World. Finally, with this being a unit focused event, we have a commissioned song called Fuel. Fuel will be granted to you through your in-game mailbox on the 29th of October and released with a Sekai version as well as a virtual singer version, with an alt vocal for Akito being added in June of 2025, so if you're a massive Akito fan, you can look forward to that. But with that, we have covered everything you needed to know about the event Rekindle the Flame. I will say Rekindle the Flame feeling a bit more normal and neutral is a breath of fresh air after what we experienced in the last event. But with that being said, this is definitely an event for Vivi Bad Squad fans first and foremost. My personal connection to this event is rather weak, as I haven't been able to read this far into the story yet for Vivi Bad Squad. So I don't really have a lot to say about the event story or the event happenings and how that fits into the grander lore of Vivi Bad Squad. However, I am not too fond of the trained versions of the cards for this event, and I do not really like the costumes, so this event is very low key for me at least. The art style for the untrained Ant version though is very cute, and I would like to see more of the comic book-esque art style for more events in the future. But since I don't have much to say, I wanna hear what you guys think about Rekindle the Flame. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Or do you have no attachment to it and are just recovering after what happened in Misu 5? Whichever case it is, I love to hear all of your opinions, and while you're down there typing away your comment, could you please consider subscribing, leaving a like, sharing this video with a friend, and don't forget to ring the bell, as all of these things help me immensely in my growth as a channel. And I of course want to extend a special thank you to all of my Patreons for continuously supporting me in my endeavors to make the best and greatest guides for Project Sekai. With a big and warm hug to all of my append players being Bambi, Gabby C, Helen P 001 Star, Katie, Mia Marie 21, Opal Siren, Petterish, Chino Empire, Shoop, and Veritas Uwu. All of you guys are way too kind, and if you wanna join them in supporting me that little bit extra and making it possible for me to make more videos, a link will be to my Patreon down in the description. But of course, do not feel pressured if you cannot afford it, as watching, liking and subscribing is more than enough. But with that, I have rambled far long enough. Let's get out of here for the week.